Ventilator CoroVent was designed at the Faculty of Biomedical Engineering of the Czech Technical University in Prague by the team led by Professor Roubík. For more details, see the user manual. CoroVent is designed for adult patients and allows only mandatory ventilation without the option of patient-triggered breaths. The concept of this ventilator follows the protective ventilation principles. This ventilator cannot be used as a transport ventilator, for non-invasive ventilation, and for ventilation of neonates, children, and for patients with body weight less than 50 kilos. Let me introduce our ventilator CoroVent, its special components, and give you a brief guide how to ventilate your patients safely with this ventilator. CoroVent consists of the ventilator itself and two single-use parts, the expiratory valve and the flow and pressure sensor called CoroVent. For ventilation, we use a breathing circuit with a Y connection equipped with an HME filter. The use of coaxial breathing circuit is not allowed. The assembly of the breathing circuit has several steps. Firstly, we put the expiratory valve into the holder and insert the pressure control hose into the connector. Test the correct position of the hose by gentle pulling. In order to disconnect the hose, press the blue part of the connector. Connect one limb of the breathing circuit to the lower part of the expiratory valve, the other part connect to the inspiratory limb. Then, connect the flow and pressure sensor CoroVent to the Y connector of the breathing circuit. The correct orientation of the sensor is indicated by the arrow towards the patient. The color-coded sampling lines are connected to the side of the ventilator. Then we can connect the HME filter to CoroVent. The single-use components can be used for up to 7 days and have to be changed in between patients. Before switching on, we have to connect the medical gases. CoroVent needs the source of both of these gases, oxygen and air. In order to turn on the ventilator, plug it to the mains. Before using the ventilator, it is necessary to check the visual and sound alarm systems. We can start the test by choosing Run Alarm Test on the standby screen. If one of the alarm systems does not work, the ventilator still can be used and the failure of the alarm signaling is indicated on the screen. Now we can switch on the ventilator using the on-off button at the back of the panel. The ventilator is now in standby. In standby, the ventilation is off, which is indicated by the red symbol and the text on the screen. Before we start ventilating the patient, we have to reset the flow and pressure sensor CoroVent. We start disconnecting it from the breathing circuit and make sure the sensor is not exposed to any airflow and is not clogged. On the screen, select in Settings the calibration. The sensor will be reset. When it's finished, you return back to Settings. And now we can connect the breathing circuit to an artificial lung and start setting the ventilation parameters. CoroVent is equipped with only one ventilation mode, volume control, pressure limited, mandatory ventilation. The ventilator works as a constant pressure source in Inspirium. The Expirium is controlled by a pneumatic valve, which maintains the required PEEP and serves as a safety valve and a pressure limitation. The ventilation parameters are set by two rotary knobs and a touchscreen. There are two rotary knobs, one for PEEP, the positive and expiratory pressure, and one for the maximal pressure in Inspirium called PLIM. The maximal pressure, PLIM, is displayed on the manometer. For safety reasons, both rotary knobs are locked. We can unlock them by pulling towards us and press to lock them again. None of these rotary knobs have scales, The pressures are displayed on the manometer and on the screen. Before the ventilation is started, we recommend to set the PEEP to 0 centimeters of water by rotating of the knob anti-clockwise. Before we start the ventilation, we recommend to start with P-limb set to 25 centimeters of water. We recommend to set the ventilation parameters on an artificial lung first and then adjust it for an individual patient. And now we can start the ventilation of the new patient. The main screen has white figures with measured parameters and green figures with adjustable ventilation parameters, including tidal volume, respiratory rate, inspirium to expirium rate, and the fraction of inspired oxygen. The tidal volume can be increased by selecting VT plus and decreased by VT minus. The change of the tidal volume will be displayed during the next breathing cycle and is displayed by the green indicator. The other parameters are changed by selection of the parameter, and in the window we can adjust the figure by moving of the cursor or using minus and plus. The minimal and maximal values are presented and the current value is displayed as set. By selecting the option Cancel, the parameter will not be changed. For each patient, we should adjust the alarm limits. The alarms are set in the menu Settings and Alarm Settings. There you can see the limits set by the manufacturer. The alarm limits are adjusted in the same way as ventilation parameters. When the alarm limit is exceeded, the sound and visual signal is activated and the alarm text is displayed on the screen. We can mute the sound alarm for 120 seconds using the red bell. There can be up to 4 alarm texts displayed. You can navigate in the list using the cursor on the right side of the list. Apart from user alarms, there are several safety alarms implemented in CoroVent according to international standards. The complete list is in the manual. We can switch off the ventilation using the white button on the screen. We can turn off the ventilator using the on-off button at the back of the panel. The screen of the switched-off device indicates the UPS state. CoroVent can run for up to 20 minutes without electricity. In order to completely turn off the ventilator, unplug it from the mains. For more information and updates, visit corovent.com and ventilation.cz, mainly for technical information.